Hey folks, this manga was created by Thibault DeBoom. Be sure to show him your love by following him on Twitter or his various other social media platforms. After being summoned by Zeno to the world's end, our titular character discovered he couldn't read the small child's heart. Apprehensive, he introduces himself nonetheless, bending down to shake his hand. With a giant smile, Zeno is ecstatic to finally meet the arena fighter. But getting straight to the subject, Hearts explains his sister said he wanted to meet with him, asking if this regards his fight with Bojack, which it does. He then reaches out to offer Hearts a candy, excitedly exclaiming this is for him. Taking it, the warrior is pretty confused. Not only does he see this guy as a child, he literally just did about the most childlike thing imaginable. He questions what he's supposed to do with this. Without losing any optimism, Zeno cheerfully chirps it's a gift and for him to eat it. Against his better judgment, if it'll make this little one happy. Swelling with energy, Hearts feels as good as new, maybe even better than ever. He thanks his visitor for the surprise, as he wasn't expecting anything like that. His sister Spades returns carrying drinks, asking if he's satisfied with the meeting. Growing an even cheekier grin, she then inquires if it was worth it to come here. This causes him to instantly put two and two together, realizing she knew about everything from the beginning, chiding she should have told him. But what was she going to say? A random kid at the world's end wants to give you some candy? He would have never agreed to that. Taking his drink, and feeling a bit vulnerable, he assumes Zeno merely felt sorry for him after watching his battle. However, that wasn't it at all. The fight was totally fun. It went all bang bang and phew! And if Hearts was hurt, he wouldn't be able to see that kind of stuff again. Our focal character comments how this Zeno kid is a strange one, but the least he can do is buy him around for helping him out. Opening a menu, he quickly finds a tasty beverage, one called the Star Destroyer, a very sweet drink heavy with fruit. But that's quite the strong order. Hearts asks if he's sure because that's a lot of alcohol to handle. But never more serious. He is sure that's the one he wants. Heading towards the bar, Hearts warns this is a really dangerous place, and it was probably a bad idea for the child to have come here alone. But he replies he'll be okay. Finally dawning on our character how low he's sunk to buy alcohol for a minor. This kid really intrigues him. If he's in Point Central, he must know the existence of the breaches. Announcing to the bartender he would like a Star Destroyer. Even he cautions it's a rather powerful serving. But there's no changing Zeno's mind. With the drink, he rapidly chugs it down. Which isn't something you should do. Asking the little guy if he's okay. With a smile, he says he feels great, playfully chanting for his buddy to buy him another, while letting out the typical drunken hiccup. But even for a grown man, Hearts knows that would be a little much. Urging one is more than enough. Not liking this answer, Zeno decides if he can't have what he wants, he's going to destroy the planet. Keeping tabs on him, Spades thinks her brother just screwed up. Taking the only cover he can from the immense energy radiating from the child. Luckily, one seems to have been enough after all, as Zeno passes out and faceplants onto the floor. His sister panically questions what just happened. Only mentioning Zeno here just fainted. He decides it's a good time to leave. Spades also thinks that would be best. Besides, they've clearly drawn attention to themselves, which is never a good thing. She tells him to help Zeno back to his house, as he'll be safer there. Reluctant, but not putting up a protest, Hearts picks him up, still amiss about the crazy key he previously exhibited, before it simply dropped to nothing. When something catches his attention, the bartender is gone. Back home, the siblings settle in. Hearts states he doesn't believe this Zeno fellow is an ordinary child, commenting how he plans to keep him under observation for the next few days. Not arguing, even Spades finds it a bit odd to see a child in Point Central, and the fact he's been here for 3 days now and managed to survive unscathed is just unheard of. They only wonder who exactly he could be. While somewhere unknown, a shadowy figure announces Lord Zeno has not been seen for 3 days, so now he is forced to call upon those he has summoned here. Using interesting verbiage, he claims as long as Zeno is at large, he poses a threat to every universe and could destroy any one of them on a whim. The first to discover his whereabouts is to receive 10,000 points towards their universal ranking. His last known location was in Universe 12. Astonishing the crowd, as with that many points, one could afford to rest for eternity. As another chorts, Beerus is surely missing something. It goes without saying, this is the Grand Minister, or Grand Priest depending on your dub preference, and the Destroyers. And the universe Zeno was last seen in belongs to Jin. With nothing else, the Grand Priest dismisses him, only hoping Zeno is doing okay, and wondering where he could be. 3 days later, back at Hearts' house, the Omni King awakes in a bit of confusion. Hearts alerts him how long he was out, but now it's very important he answers a question for him. Getting to his feet, he hazily agrees. Hearts then asks how he arrived in Point Central. And in the most Zeno answer possible, the child explains he was playing hide and seek and got lost along the way. That's it. But our character can't tell if he's lying or actually being sincere. He again calls for his attention, declaring he has a surprise. He was lucky enough to win 2 tickets to the finals today at the arena, and since his sister isn't here, he thought it would be fun if Zeno could accompany him. But of course, this is only a smokescreen to keep an eye on him while having a good time. Nonetheless, it works to perfection, as the kid is more than excited to see another match. A couple hours later, the time would come to leave. He calls for Zeno to follow while he puts on his signature coat and slicks back his hair how we're used to seeing. Suggesting he doesn't forget his glasses, Hearts thanks the boy and they head off. Taking their seats, again, we find some familiar faces in the background, one of which much more indescribably evil than the others. Meanwhile, our focal characters grab some popcorn and plan to get comfortable for the show ahead. The announcer bellows to the audience from the 4 corners of the universe. Tonight they welcome a bandit hunted by the Galactic Patrol. The one and only Sagambo, the very same Moro would later break out of prison. Smashing his fists, he mocks he doesn't have all day for this nonsense, so he wants to finish the fight quickly. His opponent, cutting off the MC, the fighter would like to introduce himself instead. With much bravado, he proclaims he is the future greatest scientist of this world, a prodigy of the demon realm. Phew. And there is something about this young man which gives Hearts an ominous feeling. Sporting a smug grin, he returns his adversary's cockiness. Taunting, he only hopes his foe will be somewhat entertaining. Scoffing at his demeanor, Sagambo quips he's going to break this brat into pieces. Counting down, the fight starts. What? He's armed? Try to dodge this! Good technique. He's creating devastating pressure with a single charge shot. My turn! In the audience, seeing this kid fight, he can't help but point out how sinister his aura is. His heart is completely consumed by evil. Though, he seems to be the only one analyzing things beyond the action. You can transform! Not bad! This fight is over. My arm! I give up! Let me go! By way of forfeit, the young few is effortlessly able to claim victory. Though disappointed, the demon sighs that it's not as if a guy like this would have even been useful to gather energy. Regardless, he considers himself to be a fair fighter, in the arena at least, so he'll be generous enough to restore his arm. With just a little bit of temporal magic, it's fixed. Surprised, Sagambo thanks his foe, who smiles they're here for fun before anything else, right? It's merely within the spirit of the contest. But Hearts knows these are nothing but lies. He can say and do as he pleases, but his heart tells the real story. Leaping from his seat to confront him, shouting, "You there!" The announcer commentates to the crowd a new challenger has appeared, the Great Hearts himself. He growls Few's name, demanding he now fight him. But the boy is unaware who Hearts even is. What could be bothering him so much that he felt it necessary to confront this fighter? And what did Few mean when he commented that Sagambo was too weak to even gather his energy?